When deadly storms strike, every second matters.
The roof was going, and this was more serious than we could have imagined.
Fox Weather is leading the charge in a digital era of live weather coverage.
I'm gonna go see if I can help this lady out a little bit more,
Tonight,
guys.
we bring together a panel of world-class meteorologists and live streamers with a combined audience of millions. From the game changers.
This is a large and violent tornado.
Do not go outside looking for this. You are out of time.
To veterans with decades of experience earning your trust.
And there's your tornado warnings.
And when the storm is over, we unite to support and rebuild communities. We're diving into the future of live weather, where cutting-edge technology meets ground truth. This is Streaming Extreme.
Hello and welcome into Streaming Extreme. We've got an exciting conversation ahead of us. I'm Haley Meyer.
And I'm Ari Sarsalari. Super stoked for this.
Yeah, this is going to be
one.
an incredible night. Tonight, we are meeting up with the biggest names in weather streaming. Starting off, Ryan Hall. Millions of people rely on him, a pioneer in the digital age of weather. Ryan began studying meteorology at Mississippi State, but eventually walked away from a degree to forge his own path, teaching himself the science and building Ryan Hall, y'all. And joining us out of Birmingham, Alabama, is James Spann. With a career spanning over 4 decades, James is a household name in the South. He's the chief meteorologist and founder of the new Alabama Weather Network. Spann made his mark during the historic weather event like the deadly 2011 tornado super outbreak. Next on our panel, David Reimer. David Reimer is the founder of Texas Storm Chasers. His vital weather information reaches even the smallest rural Texas communities. Reimer covers every type of weather the Lone Star State has to offer, from floods to ice storms and even wildfires. And last but not least, we've got Ben Luna here with us tonight. Ben is the president of the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel and launched the National Weather Network. He covers one of the most severe weather-prone areas in the country. Ben brought an advanced Doppler radar to his viewing area, which is a valuable tool for tracking storms.
Gotta love that. All right, now that the introductions are out of the way, I want to just kind of jump into why you guys do what you do, right? So obviously, and I'll start with Ryan here, like all of us clearly have a fascination with weather. I know that you're a huge weather geek. You've done a lot of storm chasing back in the day. What was it that eventually drew you toward like the communication side of things?
Well, I've always been interested in weather, and I've never been able to pinpoint why or like when it started. But it's just, I'm actually surprised whenever I talk to somebody and I'm like, oh, you're not constantly thinking about weather and obsessed with it. So I don't know what that is or why that is. But when I was in high school, I started my first weather website. I predicted school closings based off of National Weather Service data. I was trying to predict whether or not winter weather would close school for the next day in my district. Made a website for that, made discussions, even did live streams 15 years ago. And that got really popular. And that's what kind of solidified me, I guess, as the weather guy, I guess, on the communications side.
I love it. I mean, that's definitely why you're the most popular boy in school. You're always predicting when you get to have school off. James, I mean, you've often shared that your fascination with weather began long before you became a certified meteorologist, shaped in part growing up during Alabama's active 1970s. And I'm really interested on how those early experiences then influenced your passion and some of the lessons that you took from those formative years and how you then form it into your broadcasting style now.
So this is how old I am, okay? This is embarrassing, but I don't care. I graduated high school in 1974. Everybody on this panel, everybody should know what major event occurred in April 1974. The super outbreak of tornadoes. At the time, largest outbreak of tornadoes on record in the country. And I was given 3 days off from high school to go volunteer. I had a ham radio license. We didn't have cell phones in 1974. No Gram, Talk, Facebook, none of that, no communication. So we were critical. And I saw things that changed my life. I had night terrors for several months after seeing some of the things I saw in places like in Alabama. And so that really got me into this. And after 3 years as an electrical engineering major, I figured out you could actually do this for a living. Yeah. And I had the chance to finish it in the program at Mississippi State. And I've been doing this for 47 years. And to this day, I can't wait. I can't wait to wake up and do what I do.
Yeah, you've been doing it for a long time, and then just a total pioneer in the entire just realm of broadcasting, James. So I'm super excited to have you here with us. Let's talk with David Reimer here. I know you've done a lot of live coverage, just a huge variety of weather, obviously, down in Texas. You get a lot of severe weather, but you've also done a lot of stuff like wildfires, ice storms, et cetera. Maybe you can talk about like some of your most dramatic moments or what really got you into this.
Absolutely. We get wildfires, hurricanes, winter storms, take your pick, and we get it. All you have to do is wait an hour in the day. I got into weather as a child. I was born in southern New Jersey, grew up and experienced the blizzard of 93 and the blizzard of 96 in the Northeast. Those who grew up along the I-95 corridor in the Mid-Atlantic remember those well. First week I moved to Texas in late 96, early 97, we had a supercell drop, baseball-sized hail on my house, and it scared the pants off me. And for years and years into middle school, I was petrified of thunderstorms. So naturally, of course, I became obsessed with them. And with that, I became the weather kid. Even in kindergarten, growing up, I knew I was going to be a weatherman. And, you know, with that photo there with the legendary Troy Duncan, WFA in Dallas in 2000. And that passion grew into knowledge. I started storm chasing in the late 2000s. And from that, in the digital era, really began to communicate weather hazards. And not only outward, but allowing folks to communicate hazards and information back to us. We had a wildfire outbreak in September 2011. Bastrop County alone, that's about 30 miles east of Austin, Texas. We lost nearly 1,500 structures. Multiple people died. And there were so many fires that day that we were able to use our brand as a way to help folks communicate, find shelter, not only for themselves, but agricultural as well. So I've just been blessed, really, is what I've been able to do over the last 15 to 16 years by helping out my fellow Texans and helping folks out.
Yeah, I mean, the spirit of the Lone Star State goes strong. I grew up in Austin, Texas, and there was a moment where wildfires literally engulfed my entire neighborhood. We had to evacuate. Texas really sees it all. So you're doing incredible work out there. Ben, next question directed to you. I mean, you've covered countless storms and you've witnessed their real firsthand impacts, often probably affecting your friends and family on the local scale. Which event stands out to you the most in your tenure? And how do you balance sometimes that fascination with weather as a meteorologist, but also trying to convey the seriousness of a severe weather event?
Well, you know, for us at Tennessee Valley Weather, I grew up in the only county in the state of Tennessee that's experienced an F5 tornado. I was 12 years old, and that was the moment that I said, okay, that's what I want to do when I grow up. And jump ahead to 2024, I think our finest moment here was the May 8th outbreak, where we really made an impact in saving lives, communicating the urgency of a tornado, which at the top of the show, we helped to install a dual pole X-band radar in our community that serves a good portion of our viewing area. We were able to use that data in addition to ground truth reports to identify a deadly EF3 tornado that was on the ground in one of the fastest growing cities in Middle Tennessee. And then within a few hours, another powerful tornado was on the ground. And we were able to give the alert to folks that were watching us that day to that's the moment that you really needed to exercise everything that we've preached, that people like James Spann have really pushed over the years to find that safe place and go to that safe place immediately. And so this whole thing exists where hopefully people they won't die needlessly in storms.
Yeah, I mean, you guys all do life-saving work, and I think that's what really drives people to be in this industry for the extended periods of time. I mean, we've got people with 40 years of experience.